I help lead Canada to gold at the Pan American Cup.
I'm going to help Canada leave its mark at the World Cup.
I would like to coach this team at the Olympics.
Meet Team Canada. When most think of Canada, immediately hockey comes to mind. Well, these men are redefining the boundaries of their nation's greatest sport. This is the men's national indoor field hockey team. How many NHL hopefuls are there in Canada and the US? Thousands. In field hockey, if you're good, it doesn't take much to find yourself on the provincial and national teams. This is Shank. He's the goalie and captain of Team Canada and is proudly leading them to the World Cup in Poznan, Poland. For Shank, it was a quick progression from when he first tried his hand at field hockey to when he found himself on the national team.
So I started playing when I was 16, and the next year I started playing for the provincial team. And from there, I was invited to the junior national camp 6 months later. So it was just kind of like a quick ride, but I never took it for granted either, I think. So that's what kept me in the program so long as well. For me, this all happened when I just started university as well. So it was a little overwhelming because I was studying engineering too. So it took a lot of it was a huge balancing act for me to do school and train with the national team and travel to Toronto every weekend because I was in Ottawa at the time.
It almost sounds glamorous. Oh, except they aren't getting cut million-dollar contracts. In North America, field hockey is an amateur sport. If you want to make the money, Europe is the destination. FIH is the acronym for the International Hockey Federation. Adam Ali, the assistant captain of Team Canada, clarifies the level at which his team plays at.
The FIH is similar to FIFA, as in, obviously there are professional players that play in the FIFA World Cup, and there will be semi-professional players that play in the World Cup that we're going to for European teams as well. So in that way, you can kind of make that comparison there, but it is an amateur sport, just like any other, like an Olympic sport. You could compare it to that as well.
Let's take a look at Team Canada's resume. In April 2010, they made their way to the Pan American Cup in Barquisimeto, Venezuela, and defeated the Americans in the finals to win themselves the cup and gain entrance into the World Cup held this February in Poland.
The experience itself was awesome. We were the #1 team going in, but the difference between our team and I guess previous teams is that we didn't really have any high-profile national team outdoor players. This was very much a core who had been kind of left off of a lot of outdoor national squads. And in terms of, if you want to know the difference between outdoor and indoor, the outdoor team is the kind of the Olympic sport team. So that's where all of the, I guess, higher profile and the better skilled players go to. And none of those players were on the indoor team. So it was very much a core of about 6 or 7 of us who had been kind of left off of those outdoor squads. So there was a lot of pressure on us to kind of prove that we could compete at that international level. Winning the Pan American Cup was huge for all of us, just for that very reason, is that a lot of people had doubts within our own field hockey community that we could do it, and we ended up doing it in pretty good style.
Canada proved its worth at the Pan Ams, but where do they stand on the world stage?
Well, the difference between the Pan Ams and the World Cup is that at the World Cup, the best teams in the world are there, and the best teams are in Europe. The top 6 teams in the world right now are Europe. We're the next best team at 7th.
Several members of the team are no strangers to the World Cup scene. The 12-team championship is on from February 8th to the 12th, and Canada's going to have to step up its game. The team has been drawn in Pool A, along with the 2-time defending world champions, Germany, and will also face off against the tournament host and 2007 finalist, Poland. Shank has been to the 2 previous World Cups.
This is going to be my 3rd World Cup. Luckily, I was the rookie in 2003, and then I was in the middle of the pack in 2007, and now I'm one of the veterans in 2011. So each of them has been a huge honor for me. I'm really looking forward to this one actually, and because this one I'm getting a chance to lead the team, which is going to be really exciting for me.
This guy picks up the ball.
They've also got a coach whose extensive track record proves that he's more than qualified to lead the men to the cup.
All right. If you start here, you don't have the ball.
There have been 2 indoor World Cups, and I've gone to both of them. The first one as assistant coach for the men's team, and the second one as the assistant coach for the women's team.
How did Hassan Ali, Team Canada's head coach, first get involved in the sport?
Oh, that's a long story.
The short story is Ali was an avid cricket player in Pakistan, and when he came to Canada, it was a school teacher that convinced him that field hockey would suit him well. That was back in 1979. And the rest is history.
And the rest is history, yes.
Adam also played in the last World Cup and painted a picture of the fans in Europe carrying the same passion for indoor and outdoor field hockey teams as Torontonians exude for the Maple Leafs.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, you play field hockey here and like no one knows you or cares really about it, and you go to Europe and the second indoor World Cup, which is the one that I was a part of, was in Vienna, Austria in 2007, and the experience, it's like any big event here. You get great crowds out for the games, and people come up to you, like little kids come up to you and ask for your autograph because they see because you're in a program, like any sporting event here would have a program, and they have those there, and your name's listed in the roster, and they come up to you, they look for like your Canada uniform, and they come up to you and ask for your autograph. And the first time I got it, I looked to a couple of veterans on the team, was like, is this really happening? Because it was surreal, a surreal experience to experience that, and it felt great because they care about the game so much more. So it was just great to be in an environment where there's so much more passion for the game.
Aside from the trips to Venezuela, Vienna, and Poland, they also travel for training camps. In December, they were in Russia and were supposed to go to Austria as well, but their funds wouldn't permit the trip. All of this traveling per year costs more than $100,000. Where does this money come from? Well, the players' pockets.
Just like the previous World Cups, everything that we're doing is completely self-funded. So we've done a lot of fundraising initiatives. In the end, though, we did a golf tournament in October. We did a 3-on-3 tournament last weekend. But all the money we've raised so far is still basically a drop in the bucket. Our initial estimate for the World Cup and the 2 tours was in the range of $125,000. And once we saw that number, we knew we couldn't raise that fund and raise those funds, so we canceled Austria, and we're still sitting at around $70,000 right now. And for an amateur sport, for a team where a lot of the athletes are students or working full time, it's really hard to kind of make those ends meet, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge we've faced for the last 10 years.
Another constant struggle for the team is having a place to set up base. Clearly, little attention is paid to them in Canada, which results in them getting stuck with whatever leftover gym time is available, wherever.
The biggest difficulty with this team so far has been just trying to get some facilities. We have a hard time to find a place where we can call home. U of T and the Field Hockey Ontario have been very good to us in giving us a place on the weekends. But during the week, we were very successful at the Pan Ams because we had consistent practices Tuesdays and Thursdays at Ryerson. But unfortunately, during the winter, where recreation and sports are taking place, we have a hard time getting the facilities.
They are basically working to afford themselves the opportunity to play. They don't have a set place to call home in Ontario, and they are hardly recognized by the country they represent. So why do they do it? There can only be one reason.
I love it. I love doing this, and hockey is something that, you know, it's just in my heart right now, and so it is a balancing act. But you know what? When it's something that you love doing, it's easy to do.
I'm willing to bet that you didn't even know men's indoor field hockey existed. Team Canada is based right here in Toronto. They won the Pan American Cup, they're on their way to the World Cup, and they've been battling to have indoor field hockey recognized as a game in the Winter Olympics. All of this for a country that hardly knows they exist. I say it's time we give these men some credit. I'm Kelsey Wingerak for the Ryerson Rams Network.